Testing. Okay, we got it. Welcome, everybody. And I want to ask a question, first of all. How many of you in this room knew Dorothy Hill? Okay. So I don't need to do a lot of explaining about Dorothy, but I will a little bit. I'm Kathleen Lawton. I host a show called Crazy About the Blues, Friday nights, KCSM, San Mateo. And somebody who was really crazy about the blues was our friend Dorothy. As I don't need to tell you, but for those of you who didn't meet her, I'll tell you, the first time I met Dorothy was the late summer of 1986, and it was the Russian River Jazz Festival. We were all sitting around outside. Dorothy was there with Sam. We're sitting outside, beautiful weather, swimming pool. Denise Perrier was there with John, and we're all sitting there, and Denise Perrier, one of the great singers of the Bay Area, I'm sure most of you know her, Denise Perrier just got up and sang a song. So it was inspiring. After that, every club I went to, every jazz event I went to, there was Dorothy. And she wasn't just sitting in the back. She was up in front. She was intense. She was focused. She was watching. And you could tell her eyes, her mind, her heart were all straight on the blues. A great photographer. She knew everybody, an incredible source of blues information. She would go to the blues. I'd see her at a blues show. How are you doing, Dorothy? Oh, good. And then I'm going to another blues show. And I thought, oh, man, I'm going home and going to bed. What's she doing? But that was Dorothy. She was indefatigable. She was elegant, too, in that posture. She was always at the front with her big hat and her big glasses, and a posture that I would pay to have. Anyway, that was Dorothy. We have this fabulous celebration in honor of Dorothy, and Tim put it together. It's incredible. I kept thinking about one thing, I have to tell you. The one person who was here because she loved the music so much is Dorothy. I believe, having listened to music for so many years and having watched people react to it, that when you fall in love with music, there's something in your spirit that joins in the spirit of all the other people who have been there. It's kind of a mystic experience, and if it's too mystic for you, okay. But I really feel that way, that because music transports us, and we all know that. Tonight, the music that we have for you, these are people who make their home in the Bay Area, but they travel around the world, everywhere around the world. They go on cruises, they go to Italy, they go to Australia, they won Grammys. We've got an incredible lineup for you, and you're going to meet them one by one as they come out. Lady Bianca, Jules Leahy, Terry O'Dabi, Chris Kane, Tony Lindsay. You've got a wonderful evening planned, all in the spirit of Dorothy, honoring her. I can see her here, I can see her sitting. She's the one who's here. Let's do this for Dorothy, and thank you for coming.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Good, good. First of all, I want to thank everybody who's here. There are a bunch of wonderful friends. I've got childhood friends I've known here, Chuck and Chris sitting back there. We've known each other for 50 years. I've got a bunch of wonderful people here. Tina, thank you very much, and Daryl, for your help in putting this show together with me. 4 or 5 months ago, I think we were working on it. And thanks to Stephen, Sue, and Tina, and all the staff here. I've had a lot of loss, actually. My ex-girlfriend Betsy's here. We raised 2 cats, and one of them died last week. I lost my uncle, who was in a terrible car crash and in a coma for 10 years. He died a week before the cat died. So, a bit emotional. But anyway, I wanted to put this together as a good send-off for my mother because of all the wonderful things she did to support the community. And also, I want to thank you for your contribution in the more expensive ticket prices. And the reason for that is because as much as my mother liked to support the musicians, she also wanted to make sure that they were compensated very well. So the majority of the money that you spent tonight is going to the musicians. And Stephen made a special accommodation to me to make that a reality. So thank you very much to Stephen and Tina. I'm going to tell you a couple stories about my mom. When I was a kid, she used to teach me things like painting, how to change little latches, some gardening stuff. She used to take me to her office down here on Montgomery Street. She used to be office manager for a couple steamship companies. And she would go in there on Saturday and Sunday with me, and she would have me type letters on an IBM Selectric 2. And we were actually, remember the carbon paper for the multiple copies? Yeah, I'd separate them and get the ink all over my hands and stuff like that. So she taught me a lot about office management, organization, setting priorities, goal setting. Same with my dad. They were very driven parents that made me the person I am today. They were tough. They were tough on me. But they gave me a lot of opportunities. I played professional tennis as a teenager. I was sponsored by Arthur Ashe and Head because of my parents. I was congressional page for Ron Dellums. 1 out of 4,000 kids that got to go and work on the House floor in 1979. All because of my parents. I'll tell you something else too, and this is around race relations. It's a very important story. So my parents actually met on Alcatraz Island. My father was a guard in 1959. My mother's family lived on the island because her father was working for the Department of the Army Corps, and he was head of the facilities for the island. So they actually lived on the island. And the funny story my uncle used to always tell is, he said, you know, while I was living there, I used to send out all these credit card applications, and I never got a response. Go figure, right? But he was a wonderful guy. He used to come out to San Francisco and spend a week, and he would do this slideshow of all these slides that my grandfather took while they were living on the island. And I have them. I can share them with you guys. I'll probably share them as part of this book thing. But they're amazing photos of what the San Francisco city skyline looked like back then. It's really incredible. So that was very special. But the interesting part is my father got kind of kicked off the island, pushed out because of the interracial marriage, and her family totally disowned her, except for my uncle. He was like my best buddy. He was like my brother. So we would spend time all the time, to the latter part of the years, not that those two didn't get along, but they just had different interests. So Don and I would go out to Alcatraz, we'd go to do dinner and stuff and hang out and do all kinds of fun stuff for a week. So her father disowned her because of the interracial relationship. But my uncle was telling my grandfather about my life and all these accomplishments and all these things that my parents were doing for me for years. And he kept telling him, you got to meet your grandson before you die, right? So he eventually arranged it when he was 92. And we did it with my father, who he hated, and we did it on Father's Day in Orlando, Florida. Isn't that wild? And even in the 1960s, when I was a baby, my parents used to tell me they would get heckled, even in San Francisco. So my dad would actually have to walk behind my mom while I was in the stroller. It was still bad then, right? But they were wonderful parents. They did everything for me. They spent tons of time and money on me, and I've had an incredible, rich life. So let's send her out with a wonderful, wonderful show. Thank you.
evening, everybody. My name is Farida Nelson. I come from Azerbaijan, and I'm Tim's wife. And I'm really, really honored to be here right now. And the song that I will perform... Can we turn this off? They can hear me without it. Right? Okay. So the song that I'm going to perform is called March. Why did I choose this song? Because it has the feedback. Check. Okay, much better. Thank you. All right. The song that I'm going to perform is called March. Why I chose this song? Because that's the month that I met Tim. We met in March, yeah. And this song is written by Vagif Mustafazadeh. That's an Azeri jazz composer. They call him the father of Azeri jazz. And the country where I come from, Azerbaijan. By the way, this song originally is written for piano, so I need to loop the left hand first and then play the right hand. Thank you.